Today, we're focusing on the left side spin serve. I've got some new insights for you. Make sure you listen carefully today. The key is acceleration, not brute force. Your racket angle must be fixed at contact, and you must find the right brushing angle. Also, the direction of force for the left side spin is critical. Here's the first problem many amateurs have, something we've noticed from our students. Do you know why your serve lacks spin? It's because your racket face is flat during the backswing, but you open it up to be too vertical at contact. That's why the ball won't spin. If you feel your opponent isn't bothered by your spin, practice generating pure friction first. A serve with pure friction is very spinny. If your opponent just touches it, it will go into the net. After you serve, get a feel for finishing with a slightly flatter racket angle. Serve and then freeze your motion. Look at your racket angle. If your racket angle is like this, you're brushing the side of the ball more. Look, for the ball to get spin, shouldn't my racket brush the bottom part of it like this? The angle you just used generates more side spin. When your serve isn't spinny, it's because you're brushing too much of the side or the back of the ball. A completely flat racket can't brush the back of the ball. You must be brushing the bottom of the ball. Even if you think your racket is flat, there is still an angle. This angle is perfect. Pros use this same core motion. They just add a deceptive follow-through, which makes it look like we're opening the racket face. But the serve is actually generated this way. Treat it as a pure backspin motion. From there, you'll naturally brush the side of the ball, creating that tilted angle. You can't just push the ball like this. A push will have no spin. When serving backspin, your forearm shouldn't point too far downwards. This leads to a pushing motion and a no-spin ball. Keep your forearm a bit more level, allowing your racket to have a slight tilt. If your forearm is down, you'll naturally push the ball. Level your forearm, tilt your racket face, and brush like this, the ball will spin. Amateurs often drop their forearm too low, which turns the motion into a push. Keep your forearm more level. Don't think you can only create side spin with a vertical racket. With a flat racket, as long as I brush the side of the ball, I can still produce a serve with heavy side spin. And it will be very effective. If you scoop the side of the ball and then go down, the serve will be half spinny at best. You must brush more of the bottom of the ball with a downward motion to generate maximum friction and spin. Second key point, and this is critical, think about striking a match. A match lights from friction. The feeling is light, fluid, and fast. If you use too much force, the match won't light, it will break. Not enough friction, and the match won't ignite. This concept is what we call acceleration without force. If we try to muscle the ball downwards, the serve won't be spinny. The harder you try, the less spin you get. There are two reasons. First, when you tense up, you can't generate the fastest possible brushing speed. Second, when you try to add power, your arm gets stiff. This makes the racket more elastic and requires an even more precise contact to create friction. So what is acceleration without force? My feeling is, if I just softly push it, there's no spin. I execute the motion very relaxed. Then, I add a little speed, and it starts to spin. I add more speed, and it spins even more. When I make the motion even faster, the ball becomes extremely spinny. Do you see me using force? Not at all. I am completely relaxed. I'm so relaxed I'm just holding the racket. My goal is only to increase the speed of the motion, downward, forward, or upward. Not to add muscular force. Forced shots won't spin. Understood? Accelerate, don't force it. Execute the motion quickly but with a relaxed arm. If you want to serve down, just accelerate downwards in a relaxed way. Here's a great way to practice. Start relaxed, then add a bit more speed. Then even more speed. The ball will become incredibly spinny. Avoid stiffness, it's about relaxed acceleration. This is acceleration, this tense motion is forcing it. Stiffness only slows down your acceleration. Anyone can use force. The key is learning how to relax. Then, accelerating through the motion while relaxed is the next critical step. After you serve, hold your finish position. Don't move the racket. Your finish point is my starting point. It's too high, way too high. Why do you serve with a pinched-in arm? You're raising your elbow too much. This is my starting racket position. This is a common issue for everyone. Don't serve with a raised elbow, your contact point is too high. Your start point is my finish point. Look, this is my start, and this is my finish. This is your start, and this is your finish. When our students play a match, they serve 2 balls, and both go long. That's because they get nervous and their motion becomes a high, downward chop. Look, I'm not even using force, but the trajectory is too long, and the ball just flies past the table. We must lower the contact point and use a very short trajectory from this low point. Everything else is just for show, a deceptive follow-through. Think about it, all powerful serves are generated low like this. Nobody generates power from up high, that's not an effective serve. Why are powerful serves hard to return? Because the speed is high and the trajectory is low. So, for the entire side backspin motion, use your fingers to guide the racket face, engage your forearm, and move towards the side front. The motion comes from here. The angle can't be too wide, or it won't work in a match. You must initiate from a low point and go straight out. Not chop down from a high point. Chopping will always be slow. So, for amateurs and especially beginners, don't try to imitate the pros' full motion right away. You can use a flatter, more horizontal swing first. Start with a flatter swing to learn how to control the trajectory. When we practice, we're trying to find the right feeling. It's not about serving perfectly from the start. You can even start without tossing the ball, just to feel the timing of the contact. Bring the racket back and find that feeling. You need to find the touch for this serve first. Make the side backspin stable. Focus on making the trajectory consistent. You can't expect to have both speed and spin immediately. See how the trajectory is starting to stay low? First, make the ball low and the spin heavy. Try it without tossing the ball. Keep the trajectory low. You don't have room to chop down. If you chop, you'll miss the ball, so it will naturally float out. Then, you can gradually add the full motion, find the right timing for the brush, and it will click. Second, let's talk about the angle. I believe the backspin serve angle should be like this. For this kind of serve, you have to be brave and apply force into the table. Our contact point is outside the table, so we don't hit the edge, but after contact, my racket finishes inside the table area. This is legal. So why do amateurs lack forward momentum on their serves? It's because you stop your motion too early. Most amateurs also don't stand close enough to the table. They're either too far back or standing here. So, their serves have no speed or spin. When we serve, let's try to get closer to the table. We need to stand here, right up against the table, to control the first bounce. Also, when we serve, we must pay close attention to the angle of motion. For a side backspin, it's not just a single downward chop. It requires a forward and downward motion, again and again. Only a forward downward force will produce that low, spinny trajectory. Only forward means no spin. Only downward means the arc is too high. We need a forward downward angle. This direction of force is very important. You can't neglect the forward part, and you can't neglect the downward part. You must do both together to make the serve low and spinny. Position your left leg close to the table, tuck it in. Then, find that forward downward angle. Your serve will become low and spinny. The third key point, your force must be directed forward. Do any of you serve so the ball jumps out to the side? Let me explain why. Your shoulders should face forward before the serve. After you serve, your body should be aimed toward the diagonal direction. But most of you are like this. Your left side is blocking the way, as if there's a wall behind you. You can't get the ball across. Your body posture should be like this, not like that. When your left side is blocked, your arm swing naturally goes out to the side. You can't even serve straight, you have to twist your waist just to get it over. It's true. Many of our students in this session have this exact problem. When I serve normally, both of my shoulders face the table. Why would you face backwards? Serving like that will block your motion and obstruct your contact point. So, when serving, shoulders face forward. After contact, drive your right shoulder toward the diagonal corner. Be aggressive and let your arm follow through into the table. Keep your shoulders forward, and drive your right shoulder towards the diagonal corner after contact. Drive that shoulder through and watch the ball go deeper. This isn't about twisting your waist, it's about driving your shoulder. Your center of gravity will naturally follow. This technique is for long serves. You can't drive your shoulder like this for a short serve, it would go off the end of the table. See how the serve naturally got longer? If you feel you can't serve long, it's because your body is blocking the power and your arm is stopping too soon. You don't need to twist your waist. Just naturally push your hip in the direction you're serving. There's no time for a full twist, just drive it forward. I want to address another misconception. Don't think that just because you have good friction, you have a good serve. A good serve is a combination of factors. You need to get at least 5 or 6 things right. For instance, some have good friction but no speed. Some have speed but no friction. Some have both but no placement. Some have all that but no variation. A lack of variation is often due to not using the body. You must combine all the points I've made to develop a great serve. This is especially true for amateurs. Pros have enough wrist and arm strength, but we need to use our body for that extra power. So, always make contact with the ball outside the table. And then aggressively follow through into the table. Follow through into the table with confidence. Everything I'm teaching is achievable for amateurs, not just for professionals. So, contact the ball outside the table and apply your force inside the table. Think of it as a running start for your serve. Your ball speed will increase significantly.